It's like you walk out, you just think you're going to have a gentle fisticuffs with the opposing minions, and every single time
Gentle
it's like,
fisticuffs.
gentle. They're not hitting each other that hard. You see like the little blobs of water that sail across. It's like having a water balloon fight.
There's that one minion on the first wave every time was like, this is the day. This is the day I'm finally making it to that Nexus. It's going to happen, folks.
Some of them make it, man. Some of them actually make it all the way there. You think about it, most in-game screenshots have a couple of minions in there. It's got to be like winning the lottery for those poor little guys. But speaking of the lottery, speaking about random outcomes, so much of the Fiora versus Jax matchup comes down to who manages to have the better outcome in the what's it called? Riposte versus Counter-Strike exchange. Remember that when Jax activates Counter-Strike, it lasts 2 seconds. It will expire automatically at the end, or he can activate it early after 1 second has passed. That means you have a 1 second window where Fiora has to choose, do you riposte early or not? It's very interesting like that. BoxBox with a flash away. He's only level 1. He doesn't even have riposte, so you're not able to block that one. Nice job there from Tony Top, getting the early flash out of BoxBox like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing that a lot of people look at and they think it's something that Fiora can react to pretty effectively, but it's also why the Sion matchup goes rather poorly for Fiora, because it is so hard to know when Sion's actually going to release that Q, and you can't really do a whole lot about it, because if you're wrong, you take a massive amount of damage, and if you're right, well, great. Now your opponent's just going to walk away. There's not a whole lot of opportunity to do anything there, and now we already see with his flash gone, he's going to have to back away, buy a couple of potions, and that's going to be a really early teleport that he doesn't actually get a whole lot with. He's just going to be maintaining lane position, and he won't have an option later, but we already see the King Nidhogg coming up.
Well, at least he's got the teleport to get back into the lane, and now if this gank works out, that's going to be pretty big, but unfortunately for them, Jax does have the ability to use the Leap Strike very defensively, hop away to a ward. Honestly, doesn't even lose any HP, doesn't have to use a summoner. The gank is completely ineffective. And bottom lane, the 2v2 is going all the way home, it looks like. Gweiss trying to get himself away. Joey going for the hook there onto Buckzak, but won't quite find the mark. Low mana here on the Thresh. So one thing that Team BoxBox will have to be aware of down here is those full-on fights will not have the entirety of his skill set ready to go.
Yeah, we'll see what they can actually do with it. They should be able to get the level 3 onto Gweiss right away here, whereas Joey and Saber with no flash and no heal currently on the Ashe, going to be at a pretty big risk, right? Gweiss running the Hextech flash is going to have an opportunity to jump out of Fog of War and kind of surprise you, so his engage range is a lot longer than you would initially expect from most people who have just blown the flash, but he's fighting Nidhogg.
Nidhogg after the enemy support here. They're both the same level. Nidhogg does have that red buff ready to go. However, it's back up on the side of NightBlue3 available first. Nidhogg continuing the chase, but doesn't really have any speed to keep up with. Remember, this is not a Ghost Hecarim. This is Ignite Hecarim. Also no Phase Rush, so the ability to stick to a target after the charge has already been expended. It's not going to be that great. BoxBox barely healing out of the damage to not fall to Tony Top there, who did have the attacks enchanted with that Corrupting Elixir. Tony makes it happen. The counter-strike is there, and a solo kill for First Blood.
God, this is brutal for BoxBox. He's already had to TP back to lane. He has no flash, and we'll see if Joey can find something on the far side.
Now, NightBlue could be in a little bit of a bad spot. Does get himself ignited, eats a lot of damage, trying to get away over the wall now. Joey on the front line. Joey's got no mana. NightBlue still going to be leading the charge. Nidhogg running away, down to 150. A little bit of damage over the wall from Peckinwolf. Tries to maybe steal the blue there with a Scatter the Weak, but it will not happen. NightBlue takes away that buff. Joey finds a death sentence down at a set. That's not going to do a damn thing. That's 4 players on Team NightBlue3 making sure each other get out.
Yeah, and that all comes down to the fact that Gweiss walked up earlier and distracted Nidhogg for so long. He was able to distract him from doing the camps, and Hecarim's definitely a character where you need to find a lot of this early farm. You need to start getting towards that Trinity Forest relatively early on. You see that he is now 20 CS behind only the 5-minute mark as a jungle. Not even BoxBox, who had to teleport earlier, had to blow his flash and is just so far behind. He's not even 20 CS down. Like, the rest of the map is going okay, but this Hecarim, who you rely upon to scale and rely upon to try and snowball, isn't in a position to actually do so. And I'm really looking at this Rek'Sai to snowball the game in ways that the Lee Sin couldn't last time.
16 CS at 5.5 minutes is a bit of an oof. We'll see if Nidhogg can get that caught up and have a bit more of a presence here. Level 3 versus level 5, a bad situation to be in no matter what the matchup is between the champions. Bottom lane priority also controlled by Team NightBlue, and that means NightBlue himself will feel comfortable moving forward and taking down this Drake.
Yeah, the early Infernal Dragon, nice to have as well. We see BoxBox, again, missing the riposte up against Tony Top, but Nidhogg is here maybe to play spoiler.
Tony, are you going to take the bait, my friend? BoxBox is hanging around. That looks like a pretty easy solo kill there. Now, if the riposte pays off, if BoxBox can actually riposte this Counter-Strike, this is a free kill. If he fails the riposte, it should still be a 1-for-1, but he will need to have good timing here. BoxBox still only level 5. Tony Top at level 6. BoxBox dashing in, really daring Tony here. Tony flashing out of the way of the riposte to make sure he doesn't end up getting punished by that one. Nidhogg shows his face. BoxBox still loses the trade, but it is a flash expended there, which is very important. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, NightBlue grabbing a kill onto the enemy AD. Now Joey's going to drop as well. 2 kills in the bottom lane for Team NightBlue. Things are looking real good for them here early on.
Nice, and the fact that Gwai's not taking that last turret shot, staying alive, is just meaning that Team NightBlue is winning all across the map. The only place where they aren't kind of blowing their opponents out of the water is really in this mid lane, where Strompest hasn't had a whole lot of impact just quite yet. But Bucksack and Gwais with a fantastic dive, NightBlue coming down to make sure that they find the kills, and King Nidhogg spending so much time up here. He's still down 20 CS, he's losing more of his jungle, and he just doesn't have an opportunity to make an impact just quite yet. He's level 4. NightBlue's going to hit level 6 off of camp for 2 more.
Yeah, I mentioned in Champion Select how the Jax versus Fiora matchup is fun to watch because it's the skill-based matchup. It's who knows how to do it better. It's who's got the mind games down between Counter-Strike and Riposte. But that also means it's incredibly volatile. As soon as one starts to get ahead, the other person's in a spot where they just feel like they can't fight the other guy no matter what. And it results in a situation where then you're calling for jungler help. You're saying, hey, I'm going to need something up here because Jax in a 1v1 is just not something I can deal with. And Nidhogg is forced into this permanent babysitter role, 21 to 52 farm, 7.5 minutes into the game. This is not an acceptable position here for the horse. NightBlue into the bottom lane looking for yet another play.
Joey.
Down onto Joey. They won't even need the Rek'Sai ulti to do it, and the damage goes through 4-0 now for Team NightBlue.
Yeah, Joey, again, not having a great game this time around, getting caught out, being the sacrificial lamb for everybody else. It's going to be tough. Senna, one of those champions that, even though they do scale infinitely, is really focused on getting a couple of these items to really become relevant. And you see, because they're going with a very similar item path to what Saber is doing, going to be going for the Muramana on both the Senna and the Ashe, going to be so far ahead in the itemization because the tier is already stacking. I think they'll be able to go back and buy the Mana Munis, so they'll be able to stack it with auto attacks, whereas Saber still a long way away from even getting the item completion for the tier.
Now, there's got to be something that Team BoxBox has planned to get back into the game, because you can't just be asleep at the wheel and say, all right, let's see where it goes. When you're down to this degree, 2,500 gold, 8 minutes into the game, there's got to be some sort of a plan. Nice riposte there from BoxBox. Unfortunately, because he has a sword, a smaller sword, and a bead up against an opponent with a full bilge water cutlass as well as a corrupting potion ticking, even with the proper riposte, he still doesn't win the trade. That's what I'm talking about with this matchup feeling so volatile and feeling so bad once you fall behind the curve of it. The one silver lining here for BoxBox is the fact that he's maintaining a good amount of farm. He's only 12 behind, which, considering the state of these fights, could be much worse. NightBlue showing up in the top lane, sweeping through. He's seen on the ward, doesn't even need to bother to clear it, going in to make the kill happen instead. Remember, as long as Rek'Sai takes turret aggro first, she can drop that aggro by using the ulti. Up into the top side, you can see NightBlue grabbing the kill onto Fiora as the arrow comes in from all the way downtown. At least they get a return kill onto NightBlue from the arrow, but it is still a 1-for-2. It is still a success in the top lane for Tony Top, and he is still grabbing all that plate money.
Yeah, that was pretty big. Pretty funny that Saber was able to get the long-range arrow, going to be shoring up some of the issues that they've been having across the map. But Tony Top, as you said, still completely running rampant. Might have the full Blade of the Ruin King on this next back. Actually going to be sticking around because they know there's no flash in the Fiora. They're going to fight in the top lane.
Oh, BoxBox. He tries to use the riposte. He tries to get away, but Jax is so damn strong at this point. One more leap strike, one more auto attack. There you go. Tony Top turning this into a 7-1 overall game. 3-0-1 here on the top side. Who wants a piece of the champ? Clearly, BoxBox does not need any more pieces. 0-3 on the Fiora after 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's so much at this point. I don't even think Tony Top needs to walk at Fiora with the Counter-Strike anymore. You can just walk up and wait, because Fiora at some point will need to use it to block some of the damage, and at that point, then you can just start up with your own Counter-Strike. But on the far side, King Nidhogg recognizes this top side of the map is completely lost. I don't want to be giving over more kills to the Rek'Sai and the Jax. Let's see if we can find something on the far side, but not even able to commit to a dive on the bottom lane. BoxBox, now level 7, already has the Muramana, and Nidhogg without an ultimate definitely doesn't have the damage to actually take him down. So as he backs away, another dragon comes up soon, and the tempo is hugely in favor of NightBlue as they are able to back away, get a whole bunch of items, and now they're going to be in a fantastic spot to pick up their second dragon.
This game feels so doomed right now for Team BoxBox, and it's hard to call a game doomed at 11 minutes, but everybody who's ever played League of Legends has had one of those games, a solo queue, where it's just everything on fire from the first minute of the game, and it does not get better as you move forward, and things are not getting better right now for Team BoxBox. NightBlue down here in the bottom lane looking to set up another play. This will surely be a dragon after the fact if they're able to make this one work. Joey and Saber falling back as Gweiss shows up. NightBlue doesn't bother walking into the lane. He can just go start up the Drake on his own. You can see a couple of vision pings going down now on the mini-map as the control ward is placed in the ramp brush of the enemy jungle. You'll see Gweiss move up to clear that one away as NightBlue goes onto the Drake, knowing he will not be contested by the Hecarim.
Yeah, King Nidhogg trying to find something. Stun misses.
Strompus is out of there. Dragon's secured by NightBlue. Strompus going right back into the fight as Tony Top shows up looking for the counter-strike. Senna ulti comes through. Tony, he's just so damn fed, man. With Blade of the Ruined King and Sheen together, he still kills Peckinwolf. NightBlue3 coming around from the side to clean up one onto Nidhogg. Oh, no. Team BoxBox, it's all falling apart.
And the worst thing is they don't even outscale their opponents, right? It's going to take them a long time for them to be in a spot where they even have potential item parity, but the way these two team compositions interact, it's so hard to kill this Azir. It's so hard to kill this Senna because you have this massive Jax who at that point is going to be, 4, 5, 6 items, is going to be able to basically 1v5 the entire enemy team. And NightBlue, because he's so far ahead, this Rek'Sai is going to be relevant for even longer than they would normally be as he might get caught.
Well, the horse engages. Fiora tries to issue the grand challenge, but flash over the wall. He's got the summoner spell. Because they're so far ahead in this game, he's never had to use the summoner spells offensively to secure the kills. They were already just there. So the one time he does get into trouble, boom, get out of jail free card, he's gone.
Yeah, the grand challenge is denied, and that's just another thing that's just so good about the composition that NightBlue has put together. You got a bunch of people who can just leave for your ulti, and you peace out, right?
Yes.
And now they're so far behind. They're most of the way done with the Trinity Force as well from Tony Top.
Tony Top working on that Trinity Force. Nidhogg so far behind the curve of the game, not going for the Trinity Force path here on the Hecarim. Honestly, I can understand just going for the straight Cinderhulk this time around, trying to make sure that at least you're completing some kind of an item. There's no way in the world you would ever hit your 14-minute Trinity Force spike. I mean, he's not even going to have a 14-minute Cinderhulk right now, and Cinderhulk costs 2,200 while Trinity Force costs 3,700, so almost twice as much of a price point. Definitely the right choice here to just switch to something a little bit tankier, try to give your team some initiation opportunity. Gweiss going in, BoxBox right behind him, Team NightBlue once again going after the plays. 2v2, Joey nearly killed off already. Strompus shows up looking to chase even further. Joey eats some damage, goes into the stasis, but surely he's only set himself up for his own demise. Team NightBlue running themselves away now. Nidhogg coming in from the side. NightBlue with a fight onto Peckinwolf going into the ulti, dropping the aggro. Now he's going to be safe. Nidhogg also killed by Strompus. It's 3 dead for Team BoxBox. It is a 12-1 game.
BoxBox himself can't even do anything at this point. The entire map is falling apart, but there's a potential opportunity for a dive, but they're going to be thinking better about it. They know Tony Top, completely uncontested on the far side of the map, is going to be just slowly beating this down, and it's kind of like just a cash infusion. You don't normally take this turret in a lot of League of Legends games. There's not a whole lot of reason to, but BoxBox trying to find something, see if he can challenge anyone.
BoxBox falling back here as BoxBox shows up. And this is BoxBox's sad reality now, gentlemen. Because that top lane 1v1 is now completely and utterly unplayable. Look at this. It's Tiamat, Pickaxe versus completed Blade of the Ruined King in the first half of Trinity Force. It's just not possible. If he stays up there underneath the turret, he dies 100-0 alone. Tony Top will just walk up to him and start hitting him, and he will die. Nothing else to it. Blade of the Ruined King will guarantee he's not able to get away. So he has to run elsewhere on the map to try to look for these plays, but the problem is the rest of the map's bleeding just as hard as his lane is. So you're at a spot where you can't stay home because there's nothing to do at home. You can't go out because there's nothing to do out. Everything just sucks, and BoxBox is trying to find some sort of an opportunity for anything, but nothing is there. Strompus with the disengage here in the mid lane. King Nidhogg trying to make something happen in the 2v1. Senna ulti coming through just to make sure Strompus doesn't drop off here. Joey coming down through the ramp here. Might see Strompus. No, he will not. And the Emperor should be able to get away.
Oh, boy. Another turret goes down. They're bringing 4 members over here. Teleport might come through from Peckinwolf, but I think they're still out, right? There's not enough range. Arrow misses. Hook misses as well. Everything is going so poorly for Team BoxBox at this point. They have a little bit of a tempo for the Dragon, but when you're so far behind in gold, those small advantages don't really matter. And the one shining spot you had in Peckinwolf, who was 0-0-0, and even in CS, is now 0-2, and Strompest 1-0-4, and Tony Top with 2 completed items at 16 minutes. One of them is a Trinity Force. That item's expensive, and it's looking kind of over.
When the worst scoreline on your team is 0-0-4, you're having a pretty damn good game. I will say that for Team NightBlue. I mean, look at the gold. Set has 4,200 gold. Set has almost as much money as Fiora and Hecarim. Hecarim has the same amount of money as Fiora, and he had 12 farm for the first 6 minutes of the game. This is just all compounding to show how far behind Team BoxBox is right now. And we're way past the point where this game is redeemable just from good plays of their own. We're now looking only for mistakes from Team NightBlue. Tony Top has to get an absolute deathly case of solo queue syndrome where he runs into the enemy base, says, hold on, guys, I need something for my montage, and tries to 1v5 between 2 Nexus turrets. And he needs to do it about 7 times in a row. Maybe if that happens, there's a way back in for Team BoxBox. But the amount of errors that Team NightBlue would have to commit to throw a 9,500 gold lead at 17 minutes into the game is just huge.
So, Caleb.
This is just confirming my theory that Yasuo intentionally lost to BoxBox in round 1 yesterday. Just putting that out there.
I guess the question then, Caleb, is you've been paying a lot of attention to a lot of these Twitch streamers for a long time. You've been seeing them all at Twitch Rivals. Who do you think is going to be looking at this opportunity to be like, hey, I need some highlight plays now that we're so far ahead?
Biggest highlight. I mean, the thing is that is NightBlue's like whole thing, right? Is get highlight plays. And the thing is he's always getting accused of like intentionally like de-ranking or something. Is my goodness, Strompus just wipes people. So this is his chance. This is NightBlue's chance to get some kills on a main stage and see, guys, it's not just in the montages. I can do it for real.
Well, they're doing it right now. They're making everything just show up here in this finale of the redemption bracket. Remember, this is the last game for both of these teams either way. Joey's going to be pulled back there by the Set ultimate. Senna ulti coming through, keeping Tony Top and the rest of Team NightBlue protected as they go for yet another kill. BoxBox out of the picture with the namesake down, the team in shambles once again. They can't go for Baron. We're 19 minutes into the game. There's no Baron to go for, so they're just going to keep pushing.
That's the first problem that we saw yesterday, Flowers. There's no major objective to kill, so I guess we're just going to sit here. We're too far ahead, you guys. What are we supposed to do? Gwai is potentially threatening Saber, but the turret is there, and now Tony Top is here, and they can do pretty much whatever they want. I'm just still so shocked. Like, we didn't really talk about it, but the fight down in the bottom lane where Peckinwolf missed everything, Strompus was able to dodge every single skill shot that the Cinder was able to put out and narrowly come out with a victory. Just... that's the kind of thing that if you weren't this far ahead, you still wouldn't be able to do. Even if you dodge all of those skill shots, the Syndra could have killed you. But this is the kind of thing you're able to do when you're currently sitting at a 12,000 gold lead for the 20-minute.
It's quite a lot, my friend.
It is a lot.
As Peckinwolf has to run the hell away because this is Tony Top's lane now. Wherever Tony Top walks, if he wants to go to the other side of the map, he's Tony Bot. He wants to go mid, he's Tony mid. He wants to go into the enemy base, he's Tony red team. Nobody on the red team can say anything about it because Tony Top has about 5,000 more gold than any of them. Tony Top has controlled this game from start to finish ever since he solo killed BoxBox back at level 4. He's got a 60 CS lead. He's got 2 fully completed items. He's got his free-ass boots, so he never even had to stop off for utility. He got it handed to him thanks to all his kills. This is a great final game here for Tony.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He's sitting on 2,500 gold. I wonder what he's going to spend it on. Like, the Death's Dance is pretty good. The Tiamat's pretty good. Going to be picking up a Caulfield's Warhammer. So that says to me probably a Death's Dance going to be coming out just to make sure that he doesn't end up dying. Which is good. Like, when you're ahead, it's good to build, some tanky stats so you don't pitch back the lead you built for yourself. Because he's got 1,000 gold bounty sitting on his head right now. He doesn't want to give that over because that's how you start looking at these potential mistakes snowballing for Team BoxBox. But there's still one dragon away from the Dragon Soul, the Cloud Soul, which is going to make the Jack so much scarier because he's that much faster. But now Strompest might be the target of BoxBox's team.
Strompus has his little turret here to hang out with. He's got a TP showing up. He issues the Emperor's Divide, looking to keep himself alive. Shutdown comes through. Team BoxBox with a kill. NightBlue3 going after Saber, looking to use the ulti to pick up the kill, and he will find it. The cavalry has arrived, and they are looking for vengeance for their fallen brother. They're grabbing the kill onto BoxBox. They're chasing down Joey and Nidhogg. The horse is going to the glue factory. See you later, Seabiscuit. Double kill over to Senna, an 18-2 game of League of Legends.
I heard that little snicker there, Caleb. What you thinking?
Just poor Seabiscuit. he's already like a shard of his previous soul, as the Shadow Isles the Blessed Isles got blown up, and now he's being turned into glue. Poor guy.
Poor guy. Yeah. Not a lot that can happen. The 22-minute Baron goes over 18-2, 14,000 gold lead. We have a dragon spawning in less than a minute. There's not a whole lot of options for them to actually come back in this game. I don't know. I think this one's about over. I kind of want to wrap it up, put a bow on it, and congratulate NightBlue already, but we still have to take the Nexus still. There is still a crucial step in this League of Legends game.
We still got to get to the end, man. It ain't over until the Nexus blows up. I mean, Team NightBlue's computers could all catch on fire and the pause button breaks at the same exact moment. That's kind of the win condition you're aiming here right now for Team BoxBox, because anything less will be unacceptable. Tony top in a 1 versus 4, so I think if Team BoxBox brings in 3 more players, they might be able to 1v7 him. However, the rest of the team has showed up. Team NightBlue is now just doing whatever they damn well please, as they have for the entirety of this game. 20-2. Everybody's got the Baron. Everybody's pushing down the bottom lane. And we should be just about done with this one here very soon. This could be a win push very easily.
Yeah, I don't think BoxBox has any of these guys as his roommates this time around, right? Nobody on this team lives with BoxBox. You can't walk over and, unplug the router this time around. So, you would take a bit of a miracle at this point as multiple inhibitors are going down. Multiple members of BoxBox's squad are still dead. And, hey, they might not get perfect game in terms of objectives. They got a couple kills, so it's not a perfect game quite yet. But they also get the turret. BoxBox getting something for his team, but now they got to defend the Nexus.
Well, that's a pretty difficult job when you're down 16,000 gold. Let's see what you got, BoxBox. This is it. The last stand of your valiant squad here in this Twitch Rivals competition. Can they find any sort of a kill? Shelly's already taken down Nexus turret number 1. BoxBox into the stasis, staying alive on the front line. Now he's going to be killed off. First kill of the fight, second kill of the fight, going to be on to Joey. 5 versus 3 on the map. Team NightBlue already onto the Nexus itself. You know they got to be wanting to pad the stats. They're grabbing the kill onto Peck and Wolf there at the end. Nidhogg and Saber stuck back into the fountain. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Wrap it up. Send it home for the redemption bracket. Team NightBlue3 is victorious.